Twitter.
What is going on, everyone? Welcome inside a very, very special edition of the Nation pregame show. I'm Josh. This is Jay, as always, presented by our friends at Deuce Vodka. Make sure you pick up your Deuce Vodka at all Sobeys and Safeway liquor locations. You guys already know this. I got my green on. Jay,
take my lid off here.
Where's your green?
You know what? I actually don't. The only thing I own that's green is my ski jacket.
Really?
Yeah.
That's it. You're
in my Matthew Kachuk turtle costume. In the
You should have put that on. It's Battle of Alberta and St. Patrick's Day. We didn't even think about it.
I'm not gonna put it on because it'll take too long. But I'll.
You'll put it on the head. Just represent it.
It's a little prop there.
We got a lot to talk about today. This is going to be a special edition of the show. We're going to talk a little bit about our 3 favorite green things later on today. Jay, you were on a phone call until about 35 seconds ago.
Oh, juggling mini balls today, yes, sir.
That's why we're a few minutes late, but we know Jay, busiest guy at Edmonton. That's more than okay. You got green under your hat there, I just noticed. So.
Oh, yeah. See, I'm rocking green. This was going to be one of my things. I wear a green jade necklace.
Oh, very nice.
With a Maori
That's
fish hook design.
New Zealand.
New Zealand.
We're going to talk about our 3 favorite green things later on in today's show. But first of all, we got to tee up tonight's Battle of Alberta. As we saw last game, and according to our first headline here, it's a very different style of Battle of Alberta. I put out a picture after that first period that was a little meme of a guy saying, "Are you hungry for?" And then he pulls off the thing and it says, "Nothing." And essentially that's what we got in the first period.
Yeah, that first period was tough. But, for us, great road period. Kind of, hung in there, stayed alive. We didn't create too many chances. We didn't give up too many chances. Was that when Yamo, at the end there, when he should have passed or should have shot and made the pass at the first period?
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of boring.
Sometimes being too selfless is the selfish play.
It's very on brand for Oilers.
Yes. Yeah. And speaking of Yamamoto, I don't know, you wouldn't have had time to look at it yet, but actually a news article just came out through the NHLPA about Kyler Yamamoto.
Big disc golf guy.
And you did see that, disc golf guy.
I checked Twitter because we're launching the show and my mentions are through the roof because someone tweeted out at the Nation Real Life crew. So stay tuned. There is probably a disc golf tournament coming in the future.
I made a tweet at Edmonton Oilers and said, "Get a game going, me versus Kyler Yamamoto." That might be a good, get some good mojo going between the brands.
I would love nothing more to do that.
Josh versus Kyler, disc golf game. He'd probably smoke me. I'm an okay player. But anyways, tonight's game, we're not sure exactly what the lineups are going to look like. We heard from Dave Tippett this morning. They're dealing with a couple of injuries, a couple players banged up. Tyson Barrie, Zach Cassian, we're not sure if he's drawing in tonight. We know Jujhar Khaira is not going to be playing. But Jay, one of the 3 of Cahoon, Barrie, Bouchard, 3 of the 4 of Barrie, Bouchard, Cahoon, and Cassian is playing. So one of those 4 is going to be the odd man out, and I have no idea who it's going to be yet. We really don't know.
Well, right now the speculation would be because Barrie came off the ice when the healthy scratches were still skating, and one of them being Jujhar, which is a good sign that he's skating.
He was skating.
So that's good. So good, and still prayers for Jujhar there. So it's still up in the air, but it's probably going to look like Barry's going to slot back, and if he doesn't, Bouchard's in. But it's really like Cahoon's in.
We'd imagine
it looks like Cahoon's in, and
which I'm excited for.
It's looking pretty positive about Cassian, which for a Battle of Alberta, I'm happy to see.
And that's exactly where Bryce Lynch is going on Facebook here. He says, "Boys, we need Cass back bad. We're just not tough enough, and especially with Jujhar coming out of the lineup." I don't want to touch on it too much, but that's a tough scene when that happens. Fighting is part of the game. It was
it's tough.
Depending on which way you look at it, the hit that Jujhar laid, he had to answer the bell. And he did, and it's just sometimes it goes that way.
That doesn't happen that often, right? So it's unfortunate to happen to Jujhar. Jujhar's normally very good and avoids those situations. But I think in that fight, he just got, and John Scott did a breakdown of it.
Yeah.
But I think he was in it because Richie he fired up the lawnmower.
Yeah, I was going to say the lawnmower was going early.
And so I think that pissed off Jujhar, and there was a time when Jujhar was going down. And then he got back up, and he just walked into the...
Well, it was exactly what happened. Jujhar ended up going down on his knees, not because he took a bad punch, but just because he was trying to catch his balance. Yeah. And then as soon as he got back up, he was trying to square up, and then that's when he hit him. Yeah. So it's tough. We don't know what the future of the NHL is going to look like when it comes to fighting. There's a lot of people that would have an argument using this for it. But let's not talk about that. Let's talk about tonight's game.
Yes.
What do you think about the top two lines? Do you have any suspicion that maybe Draisaitl and McDavid are going to get split up? If you're Dave Tippett in this situation, what do you do?
Calgary's going to play more shutdown style. So I still don't know. We played well enough to win that game with the roster that we had. And it was really just a couple of mistakes that they cashed in on is what kind of led to the difference, right? The Connor giveaway and even the Mike Smith thing. It really truly wasn't we always worried that when he plays the puck so much he's gonna have a gaff like that, but the puck jumped over his stick. There was some circumstances there.
And to touch on that, actually, I was listening to the Gregor show on the way here, and Gregor made a good point. A lot of the time when Mike Smith does have a gaff like that, people love to come at him.
Oh, yeah.
That's the good and bad that comes with Mike Smith. Yep. But he actually went back and rewatched the game, and in that game alone, I'm talking one sample size, Gregor said there was 10 other instances in that game when Mike Smith came out of the net and made more than a 3-foot pass to help break the puck out. Yeah. And those are effective breakouts.
Yeah, that helps your defense so much. Saves them from getting hit. And also, it sets up a healthy breakout. So, that was unfortunate. So, I say stick with it for now. I didn't see anything to suggest otherwise. Obviously, there's a lot of people screaming for the dry line to return after that game. But Connor was kind of they shut down Connor. They were pretty good for a while. Yeah. And then how about the missed calls? I'm not
terrible.
I try not to complain about reffing, but that one trip.
That was terrible.
So bad. Yeah. So bad. And then they go down the ice and they get a penalty called against, or we get a penalty called against us.
Yeah.
And then they score in the power play.
It was such a dynamic power play that we have. Literally one power play for us could be the difference in a game.
Yeah.
Just because of how much that impacts our game.
Yeah.
Bryce, let me see here. No, excuse me. Brett says, I heard Cass and Barry might be back in the lineup. And then Chris says, is Cass back in? It's literally a game time decision. Tibb said this morning that they're going to see what happens after the skate that happened this morning, and they're going to do some looking around and see what happens. And Cass has to get cleared by the training staff. So he was cleared to practice, not cleared for gameplay yet. That could change in the next 3 to 4 hours before puck drop, but we will see. Jay, Zach Lang and I had a big discussion yesterday on State of the Nation. I don't know if you saw any of the guff that was going on Twitter.
I'm seeing it on Twitter. There's a lot of negativity around this. I'm not.
No, it's not negativity. No.
No, I'm not saying you're preaching it, but yeah.
It's not negativity at all. It's an ongoing discussion. Me and Tyler were on one side of it. The Danalytic, which you can probably tell by his name the way that he's going in this direction, and Zach were going in another way. The biggest argument that we were having is who's had a better season this year for the Oilers, Darnell Nurse or Ethan Bear?
Yeah.
I need your perspective on this. And let us know. Let us know while Jay's answering. Who's had a better season, Ethan Bear or Darnell Nurse?
This is where analytics lets you down.
Yes.
And gives you the wrong answer. Because analytics are there to guide you to support to make decisions. But Darnell Nurse has been huge for us.
Hands down the best.
Huge defenseman for us. The Darnell Nurse storyline for this season he plays a big part in this season's success, especially as of late.
Yep.
So and Ethan he's not like he was last season yet. He's had some struggles.
He's starting to find his game.
He's starting to find his game, and he had an off night in Calgary. And there's a lot of people I saw saying that he didn't, and maybe because mistakes didn't get cashed in on or whatever, but mistakes were being made.
Yeah.
So Nurse is our first pairing defenseman.
You don't even want to touch this, do you?
Well, I don't like, but then there's all this negativity going around Bear, and I don't want to be negative towards Bear. I love Bear.
Yeah,
and he's just coming he's still young, so he's allowed to have a little setback. Plus, he's just coming back from a head injury.
I'll look it up here while I'm kind of making my point. There's been kind of an ongoing theme in the past, and you can probably vouch for this, Jay. A lot of people say that you can't fully analyze or fully understand what you're going to get with a young defenseman until he's played 300 NHL games. That's kind of always been kind of the baseline for defensemen. Different for forwards, but for defensemen, because it usually takes them long to develop, and it's such a different game from when you're going to juniors to the NHL playing as a defenseman. They say 300 games until you really know what you have out of a player. Ethan Bear right now is sitting at a career total of 108 NHL games played.
Oh yeah, he's a rookie.
He's so
He's
young.
like a rookie.
He's so
young.
young. Yeah, last year was his rookie season. No. There's still so much time to see what you have in Ethan Bear. The biggest issue I have is that when you're blowing up his analytics from an outsider perspective and saying he's really bringing so much to this team right now in comparative to a guy like Tyson Barrie. You know what I mean? Because that's one thing that I won't stand for is the Tyson Barrie slander. You know, I'm president, CEO, and founder of the Tyson Barrie fan club. And, you know, the biggest thing for me is you got to look at points. Tyson Barrie has 24 points this year. Maybe 25. I don't even know if he got a point last game.
That's a stat.
That's a stat. Those are tangible numbers that impact the game. Corsi and Fenwick and expected goals for percentage, yeah, sure, they have an impact.
They play a role.
They play a role.
Play a role.
But there's one statistic for a player that literally impacts the output of the game, and it's points. But let's move on. All I'm going to say is we got Tegan Nurse, Chris Nurse, Sean Nurse, Jeremy Nurse. And people are getting in the conversation about it in the comments. All right, let's talk. Deuce Vodka player mode.
Oh, I had one. What the hell was it? I thought about it. I was prepared. Anyways, yes, go on.
No, you go.
I know what my player is, but I can't think of the mode I want to put him in.
Okay. As always, pick up your Deuce Vodka at all Sobeys and Safeway liquor locations and make yourself a Neon Nation bomb tonight. Sponsored, or not sponsored, but thought of by Brad Stepanko.
Follow Spank Yeg.
Spank Yeg.
Ultimate ambassador for the Neon Nation bomb.
Yep. Deuce Vodka player mode. Go ahead if you're ready.
Oh, why is it driving? I had the mode in my head. Well, anyways, I'm making the strong assumption that Cassian's back.
Yep.
So I just want. Oh yes, I now remember what it is. I want Cassian to enter factor mode. I want him to be a factor tonight. That doesn't necessarily mean he needs to be fighting guys because I know he's coming off a hand injury, but he needs to be throwing his body weight around. He's got to be getting in the scrums, not letting his teammates be pushed around. This will activate him. This will probably lend to him being on the score sheet if he's in factor mode. Welcome back. Be a factor, buddy.
Yes. We got some comments coming in. Chris says, people can hate on him, but Barrie has drastically improved the puck moving and scoring from the back end. Love the Nurse-Barrie pair together. I would agree. Chris, for my Deuce Vodka player mode, I'm going to go with Dominic Cahoon.
Oh, I like
assuming that he's going to enter the lineup tonight. And I just want him to enter German superstar mode, just like his partner, Leon Draisaitl, assuming they're probably going to end up playing on the second line together. Because if I had to guess, I think they're going to split up McDavid and Draisaitl for tonight.
Well, if you want to get the most out of Cahoon, yeah, why not? Move Ennis to the third, I'm fine.
Bradley Bay, coming out of nowhere, he's got some line combinations for us. You want to hear him?
Yeah, talk to
Bradley Bay says, what do you guys think about this lineup? So first line, 97 with 29 and 21 on each side.
Okay.
So McDavid, Cahoon, and Draisaitl.
Bet on Cahoon for points.
And then second line would be Nuge centering Puljujärvi and Yamamoto. So kind of maybe gives Nuge a little bit, two drivers on his line, two guys that get in on the forecheck. Third line, Haas centering Cassian and Chason. So I think Chason's a career left side guy, or is he a career right side guy? Because I think one of those. I think Chason's a right side guy.
He skates like a fourth liner. He's a fourth liner.
And then another lineup would be, or fourth line / third line would be Shore centering 15 Archibald and 10 Nygaard. So Nygaard draws in, Patrick Russell out, James Neal out, and
Nygaard. Walk me through why Nygaard. Nygaard skates like the wind.
And he's never got the benefit of the doubt.
Can't keep the puck on his stick.
Yeah, true.
Forechecks like crazy. Like, I guess maybe in a fourth line role.
How many games has he got in this season? Maybe two.
Yeah.
Maybe two.
Yeah.
But if you had to guess right now, do you think they're going to split up 97 and 29 tonight? Do you think?
Well, if Cahoon's back in, I can see him wanting to put him in Dry because Dry plays well with him.
Yeah.
That's how you're gonna get the most out of Cahoon, and it allows you to separate the two, which is a positive.
Yep.
I could see that.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna get to one more question here, and then we're gonna have some fun. Tegan says, "What's with Neal this season?" So Neal's an interesting case. You know, he's getting into the probably back nine of his career. Well, definitely in the back nine of his career. Not necessarily a guy that has the fastest foot speed, but the biggest thing
he's lost his foot. His game used to be scoring goals off the rush.
Yeah.
So wheeling down and scoring, and he's had ankle injuries.
Yes.
High ankle sprains, nagging. So his skating is not what it used to be, and plus, I think he had some complications from COVID.
And that's where I was going to go next. Is that he mentioned to it a few weeks ago in an Oilers press scrum that he had COVID. And he said that there were some lingering impacts from that. It took him a little bit more time to get into game shape.
Yeah.
And he said that it impacted his skating. Obviously, don't quote me on any of this, but this is kind of filling in the lines between some of the stuff that he said. Is that it actually had an impact on him, kind of getting him into game shape. And then we saw him get back in the lineup, and then we saw him even after that 2-goal game. You remember when Tippett scratched him, and I think that had partly to do with them just he was just trying to get back in game shape following having it. So. I feel like you kind of got to give Neal the benefit of the doubt this season. You kind of got to have a little bit longer of a leash on him. He's a fourth-line guy. I don't know how many goals.
He can still shoot the puck. That shot, if he would have, he was so close to scoring last game. If he would have scored, it would have been amazing. He's just got to put himself in positions to shoot. He's veteran, so he thinks the game right. He's got the know-how. His foot speed isn't there, but he plays with the body. Like, he's useful, and he'll be useful in the playoffs.
Okay, we'll get to a couple more here because we've got some questions coming in before we get to our top three. John says, off topic, but are we close to setting a record for the longest streak of games to not go to overtime? And then also he says, what do you think of McDavid with Draisaitl and Cassian? I don't know if I
Dry and
Cassian. I actually don't mind that.
I don't mind that at all. Like it's an opportunity to try to fire up Cassian.
And that also gives Nuge an opportunity with Yamamoto and Puljujarvi on that third line.
Yeah, I'm not. Battle of Alberta, I'm not opposed to it.
John Lapine out of nowhere here.
From the top ropes. Yeah. I'm here for it.
Don't mind it. The overtime thing, I have no idea. They've played one overtime game this year. Just absurd. Crazy.
We're being deprived. Like, that's the most exciting hockey is Oilers 3-on-3 hockey.
Yeah, and then Sean says, thoughts on... I haven't heard any of these rumors. Let me know if you have. He says, thoughts on trade rumors involving Neal and picks for Taylor Hall. Well, first of all, if Taylor Hall is going to come this way, I think that we'd probably have to offload a little bit more salary than just James Neal because those cap hits wouldn't line up unless Buffalo retains some of that salary.
To retain some.
So they'd have to retain some. You already know my answer to this, but you go ahead.
Oh man!
and then
if you're giving up James Neal, and then depending on what the picks are, like it's
you can't.
But you're not guaranteed to sign Hall.
Okay, so I'll propose this to you, Jay.
I'd think about it.
You're telling me.
I'd think about it.
If
you're going for a run,
if the Buffalo Sabres come to you right now and say, we'll give you Taylor Hall, we'll retain half salary, we'll take on all of Neal's contract, give us 2 third-round picks.
Yes, I would do that.
Yes, absolutely you would.
But I don't know why they would.
Yeah, I don't know why they would either.
Yeah.
But they're also just an absolute tire fire. The biggest thing for them is that they got to think that if they're going to take on Neal's contract, because the picks part of it is that's kind of a wash.
I think a first has to be a part of it.
It would have to be a first.
And that's where I'm like, oh. But I know at some point we need to start leveraging our first-round picks because our window is open.
Yeah, or you do the trade, and then it's a first. It's a conditional first, where if he re-signs with the Oilers, it stays a first. But if he doesn't re-sign with the Oilers, it turns into a second or something like that. I don't know. Obviously, that would be the inner workings of that. I'm not trying to go GM mode, but I'm just saying, if the Buffalo Sabres came to you and said, we want to trade you Taylor Hall for James Neal and a couple picks, you would do it.
Yes.
Chris says, what about a hockey trade for JT Miller? I don't foresee the Canucks wanting to trade one of their top 6 players within the division.
$6 million? So what's a hockey trade for that? Like, we'd have to...
Because then they'd have to take on James Neal or another contractor chase on or something like that.
And they can't afford to do that.
No,
and you have to give them a roster playing prospect.
Yes, and plus, I think Vancouver, from an outsider perspective, is going to think that they probably are going to have a shot at making the playoffs in the coming years, especially next year, the year after. So I don't know why they trade JT Miller. Because this is kind of an off year for them. They have the talent.
They're in cap hell, though.
Yeah, they're in trouble.
So I could see them wanting to maybe get rid of him. So I don't know how much time our term is left on his contract.
Sean, there's another Sean in the comments that wants to keep Taylor Hall as far away from Edmonton as he can.
I am from that camp. But if we're getting rid of some cap concerns, then I'm open to it.
Okay. Okay. let's have some fun. We're gonna talk. Let's have some fun. Let's talk St. Patrick's Day. Let us know what your top 3 are. I kind of sprung this on you, Jay, right as you were entering the office. I hope you had time to prepare. We're gonna give you our top 3 green things. So I'm talking like there is no restrictions on this. If it somehow involves green, the word green, something's green, you can go wherever you want with this. Let us know in the comments your top 3 green things. We'll do this in kind of a draft order, so we're just alternate.
Oh, it's a draft. Okay.
No, not a draft.
No, I like it. I like it.
We'll just alternate.
One of them originally was my necklace. I was gonna pull because I'm very grateful for this, but I will.
You'll skip over that
I
one.
used it.
Okay. Do you want to go first?
Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, you can go first.
No, you go first.
You want me to go first?
Yep.
Okay. My first and most favorite green thing is a crisp, beautiful, slightly dewy morning fairway when you're out on the golf course. And you look out, the sun's shining on it, that beautiful crisp green with the nice lawnmower tracks on it, going back and forth.
Freshly manscaped.
Yes, freshly manscaped.
Yep.
Shout out to Manscaped. 100%. My number 1 draft pick and top favorite green things would be a beautiful fairway on a morning.
So one of my I've written down my answers, and one of them is golf related. So I will answer a golf one with a golf one.
Okay.
My favorite is the green jacket.
Oh,
the Masters
good one.
Is one of my favorite weekends of the year. I get right into it. I make a bunch of bad bets on golfers to try to win.
Yeah.
But that is, for some reason, that tournament is the most intense and best to watch.
Yeah. Okay. Probably a little bit before my time. Honestly, I don't really know a ton of their songs, but they're just a legendary band. I got to go with Green Day.
Wow.
Green Day, man. They're just legendary. Everyone knows Green Day.
Well, everyone does know Green Day, and
So-
they've got a lot of
I'll go number 2 overall, Green Day.
Okay.
Or for my number 2.
Okay, so I have to have a very on-brand Jay answer here.
Yeah.
So who's
Oh, I know exactly what you're gonna say.
who is Jay?
Oodle Noodle.
But Jay loves Edmonton.
Yes.
And what is almost or more Edmonton than a Donair? Green onion cakes.
Yep.
We put them on the map. Edmonton is the land of green onion cakes.
I can't believe I didn't think of that.
Well, hey.
Yeah, that's just on brand for you though. I'm glad that you took that one.
And also, if I didn't answer that, I would probably get shit on for not saying that.
Likely.
But, so I'm very happy that I thought of it.
I have to tie it into hockey. I can't go 3 answers without having one
Okay.
that involves hockey.
Okay.
This is a hockey show. And I'll go to a former Edmonton Oiler, Mike Green.
Yeah, short-lived.
It's got to be. He's a former Oiler, Mike Green. And yeah, he's just so many legendary years for him in Detroit. And,
And Washington.
And yeah, he'll go down as a good defenseman.
He'll retire as an Oiler.
So I'll go beautiful green fairways, Green Day, and Mike Green.
So the other green connection to the Oilers is Ted Green, Stanley Cup winning coach, former player. I don't know if he played for the Oilers or not, but Ted Green. But if I was going to go with a different green, I'm going to go with a Canadian icon, Red Green. Is that before your time?
Yeah, I don't know who that is. That's the name of Red Green? That's like
The
the,
Red
Red
Green
the
show?
Ottawa Red Blacks.
No, Red Green. He was before the Red Blacks.
Who is that? Who's Red Green?
I'll show you a photo. You don't know who Red Green is?
No, I
Do
don't
any
know.
of you know who Red Green is? Did I just date myself?
Ted Green did not play for the Oilers. He played
Coached.
But yeah, no. I was just saying, you asked if he played.
Yeah, I
he
was
did
just-
coach, but he never played. Who's Red Green? You want me to look up a
Well,
picture here?
I can't explain it. He had a show on Canadian television. He was
Oh,
like
it's a
handyman.
show.
Yeah, but that was his name, Red Green.
Oh,
He had red green suspenders.
James Mitchell comes in and says Tom Green. Is Tom Green Canadian?
Yes,
he
Tom
is.
Green. Tom Green's a good one. Yeah.
What was he on? Was he on the Celebrity Apprentice? He was on something, or was it a Big Brother?
Oh, actually,
He was on Big Brother,
I'm
wasn't
gonna throw another Canadian answer here because I gotta go to my roots. They don't have green in the name, but they are green.
What?
The Rough Riders,
Oh gosh,
Rider Nation, baby.
get out of here! Get out.
Also, as a bonus answer, the Green Bastard from Parts Unknown,
what is? I don't know what that is
from
either.
Trailer Park Boys.
Oh, okay. Rebecca Lewis says Happy St. Patrick's Day. Go Oilers. James, like I said, says Tom Green. Scott says Ted over Mike all day long.
Oh, well, that's obvious. Ted won a Stanley Cup. I don't know what he was thinking, but Josh is young.
Sean says if the women don't find you handsome, they may as well find you handy. Is that a quote from that show? Yeah.
Red Green is an icon, man. You gotta watch.
I might have to dive in here.
Yeah, you should. You should watch the first 3 seasons.
Dwayne says Red Green is the best.
Yeah,
LOL. There's
literally he molded a lot of Canadian youth.
And then James and Tegan both came in with the same "if they don't find you handsome, they'll find you handy" quotes. Is that like the best quote on the show? Like,
I think he ended the show with that quote.
And then Jeremy says, I hope this is involved with the show, or else I don't know where this is coming from. Jeremy says, Daddy, would you like some sausage?
That's Tom Green from Freddy Got Fingered.
Oh, okay. Okay. Man, you're smart, eh? You know all this.
Well, I've been around.
You've been around the block.
I've been around.
You've had your days.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of any others that I would like. One actually that came to my mind was Draymond Green, but if that was on my not liking list, because I don't like Draymond Green.
If I was a Green Bay Packer fan, I would do it. Nothing to shit on Green Bay Packers.
Shout out to Jared Sharp, sales guy Jared. He loves the Packers.
So does Spanky Egg.
Is he a Packers guy as well?
Big Packers guy.
Have you been to Lambeau? You have,
no,
haven't you?
No. It's on the list.
Lambeau would be a good one. It's a 1-tier stadium, hey? There's no upper bowl. It's just like, it's kind of like the Rose Bowl, hey?
Yeah,
that's crazy. I feel like those would be the best stadiums to go to.
I also really want to go travel to Greenland.
Greenland.
Yeah, looks cool.
I want to go to Death Valley for an LSU Alabama game. College football.
That'd be right.
That would be amazing.
Nothing to do with green, but yeah, pretty cool.
Okay, we're diminishing viewers here on Facebook. People are like, what is going on? Yeah. We're kind of off the rails.
Everyone. Yeah. It's St. Patrick's Day.
Okay, let's quickly talk about betting for tonight. I had an okay night the other day. Mm-hmm. I'm back, as I mentioned. I had about...
Well, Yamo Point. Got that real quick.
I had $20 on the Yamo Point again.
Yeah, smart.
And you could have asked my dad when I was in the living room. I was losing my mind because originally
they didn't give him the second
called
assist.
It unassisted.
Yeah.
So it went from being an unassisted goal to being assisted by Tyler Ennis. Yeah. And I'm literally running around my living room losing my mind, screaming at my TV, how does Yamamoto not get an assist there?
Yeah.
Finally, about an hour later, they register an assist for him. So I'm like,
well deserved.
Well deserved. So it's tough for me to place a wager on tonight's game now because we don't know what the lineups are going to be. I almost want to wait until warm-up and then see what they're rushing.
Well, the one thing, and so this is where the one thing is certain with the lineup, and I saw Gregor talked about it in the GDB in the game day article, and that's Nurse quarterback in the power play. So,
but do you think even if Barry plays, they're going to give?
I think he said even if he said even if Barry's playing, Nurse is the guy. So Nurse is plus 100 for a point. So I feel like that's good value. So my bet is on that. And then if Yamo's still in the first line, I'll always throw a cheeky few shekels on Yamo.
I always wonder how, because obviously Cool Bet, when they're creating, any of the sites, Oddsshark, whenever they're creating their numbers for the night, I always wonder if they don't know the lineups either, because you imagine that line combinations would have an impact on the lines of these players' odds. So I wonder are the lines going to shift after warm-up? Are they going to have people actively updating them?
Well, it was funny. So I have a few books that I use, because one where I'm a cowboy and one where I try to be a smart bettor, even though I'm a cowboy over there too. Is I got Yamo at plus 100 last game, or plus 105.
Yeah, I've been at plus 108, I think.
Yeah,
on my books.
And then on my other book, he was minus 167.
Minus 167.
For the same game.
See, that's crazy to me.
So it's good to have, it's always good to deal with multiple bets, and this is where Oddsshark is actually a really good tool, because they aggregate all the sports books.
And they'll tell you where you're going to get your best odds.
Yeah, so that's a huge difference. And he got
that's crazy.
And he scored. So plus,
that's crazy.
Huge difference.
Because if you were talking about even down south, because obviously a lot of the places where they are setting these lines are Vegas, and they have thousands of people behind computers that are making this. And if you were to look at NFL football, even college basketball, anything like that, usually the lines are within 3 or 4 points of each other.
Yeah.
So to go from plus 108 to minus 167, that's insane. I've never heard of a line shifting that much.
Yeah, so the one book was on it, knowing that Yam will be on that line, it really increases the probability. Because I was shocked to see him minus money, and he's still plus. He's still
plus money. Plus. So Yamamoto is 100, so Nurse is 100, Yamo's 100. Essentially, it's pick money there. It's one min, one back. Puljujärvi's plus 150. Obviously Nuge.
What's a Cassian point? Is he?
He's not on there. He's not on this
book.
What
about a Cahoon point?
Cahoon point's not on here as well. I know there's.
If you can find him for a goal and somehow he lines up with Draisaitl, that would be nice.
I know it's crazy. the way that, different books will offer different things. I had a buddy text me the other day, and the book that he was using, he was able to bet on a Gordie Howe hat trick for Darnell Nurse. Have you ever heard about that?
Oh, wow, that's wicked.
Yeah, he was using a book that it said he placed a wager on Darnell Nurse to register a goal and assist in a fight. And I think it paid out plus 7,000 or something.
Nice.
He put $1 on it, and he was like, and then Darnell Nurse scored that goal and then had that assist. Yeah. So he's firing up the group chat. Nurse has got to fight. Nurse has got to scrap.
Oh, it's always good to play multiple sports books.
Yeah. Are you gonna bet at all on March Madness?
I don't know enough.
I know
nothing.
Zero.
Yeah.
I know less than zero about college basketball. Mm-hmm. I know that Tyler Hero played at Kentucky because he's like my favorite NBA player. Mm-hmm. And I know that Gonzaga, they always are good, but they never win. But apparently this year they have a chance. So I will be placing blind wagers on March Madness just because whenever the tournament gets going, there's always such a buzz on social about it. Like I know nothing, but I'm betting on every game.
Why not? It's fun.
Okay. Good show. All over the place today.
All over the place. Did we talk much about this game?
Not really. It's a Wednesday night, 8 o'clock.
Smith's back in, right?
Smith. Oh yeah, Smith's starting.
Smith's starting. Cassian could be back in. All we just need to do is just kind of limit our mistakes, and just if we can create the same amount of opportunities as we did last game tonight, then it's a very good probability of winning. Calgary, as we said, is going to be tougher to play against. Especially the first few days under the new coach, will be really responsive to all that. So
it's a very different Flames team.
Flames team. So this is actually a big win because if we lose, we're really close to the Flames, and they have 2 games in hand, and that's not good. So we have to keep kind of creating our space, our space between them, increasing that. It increased 9 times.
Scott Halderson says if Yama wants to stay with McDavid and Draisaitl, he better start shooting. Don't need another playmaker on that line. And is that also kind of an argument of why you wouldn't want Yamamoto on that line?
Well, here's the thing. You're on a 2-on-1 with Leon Draisaitl, and you're still skilled, but you've got the guy who just scored 50 goals.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's I should pass to him, and I'm also the rookie.
Yeah.
But
it's almost like a lose-lose situation.
I'm almost certain he shoots, he scores.
Yeah.
Because the goalie also has to respect that Leon's over there.
Yeah. Or do the Jason Spezza and fake the shot and then shoot it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always wonder why guys don't do that more often. That's my favorite ODR move or favorite shinny move is I'll do that, except I'll just swipe my stick on the ice past the puck. I've never scored on it, but I always think I'm a genius. I'm like, why don't NHL players do this? I'm so smart. I'm the next Adam Oates. They should come to me in the offseason and I'll train them up.
Skills coach Park over here.
Dwayne Neufeld, this is a must-win game in my opinion. James Mitchell, how long is the hammer out? He's skating, which is a great sign.
Skating is a good thing. So I would probably say
he's day-to-day, I would imagine.
Yeah, day-to-day is very, very fair.
Once again, the Oilers are a road dog. I'm a sucker for a road dog. They're plus 108.
Yeah, I think you got to hit them. I think, they gave Calgary the first game and we didn't play that bad. So I think we got to... I think you double down.
Jay Downton, final thoughts before we let the people go on tonight's game.
Let's just keep playing. We've lost the last 2 games and we've been playing good hockey, and that's unfortunate. But we just have to reduce our mistakes tonight and just keep up the pressure. We're gelling. We'll keep getting the win. If we keep playing like this, we will win more games than we lose. And it's just unfortunate we lost.
First half of a kind of interesting back-to-back for the Edmonton Oilers playing the Flames tonight. Tomorrow they're going to jump on the road, head to Winnipeg. Obviously, they're going to have to take a bus. There's no other way of transportation to get out east like that. Yeah. Long bus ride out to Winnipeg. Enjoyed tonight's game. 8 o'clock puck drop. Kind of a unique West Coast 8 o'clock game. Well, I guess not unique because it's not really the West Coast, but usually the 7 o'clock games are the ones in Calgary. Kind of interesting. Wednesday night hockey.
Silly.
I know.
It's Connor McDavid. It should be prime time.
Prime time. Anyways, and Battle of Alberta should be prime time. Who else is playing tonight in the NHL?
Yeah, probably Toronto, and that's why.
Toronto could play like the Arizona Coyotes, and they would get prime time.
Yeah.
Anyways, enjoy tonight's game. As always, the Nation pregame show is presented to you by Deuce Vodka. Pick it up, Sobeys and Safeway liquor locations. If you haven't yet, go check it out. Spanky Egg let me know the other day that it's on sale right now. I believe it's Sobeys. So if it's still on sale, go pick some up before tonight's game. Grab yourself a couple packs of Nation beer as well and enjoy yourself a Neon Nation bomb when Leon Draisaitl scores tonight. I'm Josh, this is Jay. Enjoy the game, and we will see you tomorrow afternoon.